evening. Welcome to the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. As usual, I have my colleague here with me, Kesta. Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Harrison.
Okay, as usual, we will just go straight into the sporting activities happening all over the world. But we'll be starting with the home front. This is the week 31 of the Nigerian Professional Football League, and as usual, Rivers United are still top of the log, followed by Plateau United, Remo Stars still in third place, and of course Enugu Rangers in the third place. The results are currently nil-nil first half between Aqua United versus MFMFC, Enugu Rangers versus Rookie Tourists, Enyimba International versus Sunshine Stars, Gombe United versus Heartland of Owerri, Katsina United versus Niger Tornadoes, Lobe Stars versus Kwara United, Nasarawa United versus Abia Warriors, Rivers United versus Plateau United. Of course, the first fixture of the first leg of this fixture ended 1-0 in favor of Plateau United right there in Jos. Currently 0-0 right there in Port Harcourt against between Rivers United and Plateau United. And of course, the only games the way they've actually had goals are the game between Sunshine Stars versus Remo Stars. Remo Stars took the league, but Sunshine Stars just pulled one back. So it's 1-1, 12 minutes. Kesta, Heartland of Owerri, they have been in and out of the relegation zone, currently playing away from home against Gombe United. They're still 18th on the log, still in the drop zone. Of course, Rivers United and Plateau United are battling it out there to see if Rivers United will extend the point at the top of the log, or if Plateau United will be closing the gap, or if it will remain the way it is before the match day 31.
Yeah, top of the table clash between Rivers United and Plateau United. It doesn't get better than this. I mean, it's one of them weak that we like seeing in football, where you see the top side fighting each other. It's always a 6 point, a 6 match pointer whenever you see two teams that are battling for something facing each other, because you're not just getting the points, you're also stopping your opponent from getting points as well. So if Rivers United goes ahead to win this one, it will mean they have extended their lead on top of the table, and it will now be very difficult for Plateau United. It's already difficult for them to catch Rivers United as it stands, but losing today also will mean that it will become more difficult for them, and that will mean that my prediction might be coming to pass when I say that the league is becoming Rivers United's title to win. I mean, to lose, because I've seen the way they have progressed. They handled this season. 7 points are above. You can say that they are one, leg already in the title. But I mean, this football, anything can still happen. If Plateau United wins today, it means that they might be throwing open the league once again, because of course there are still some matches to play. So it's a very good one right there, as it's happening in Port Harcourt right now. So let's see how that match goes at the end of the day. For Heartland FC, I mean, it has been the same story from the week one of the season, always off and on. Mostly off, because where they are is still not good for them. Well, I don't know how it ends. We have a league where 3 points means a lot. I mean, even 1 point can do a lot for you. If they can hold on and not lose today, it might be a very big point for them. But they need to do something spectacular to survive. We've seen some teams do it. Leeds United in English Premier League, it took them until the last day of the league to survive relegation. That was also the case for Everton. They managed to stay. So I think there's still opportunity for Heartland in the MPFL to try and see if they can stay up in the Nigeria Professional Football League. But let's see how it goes. I mean, the league is still much on. 7 matches to go. I think there is still much to happen.
All right, Kesta, as usual in the Nigerian Professional Football League, we've seen teams win the league with about 50 plus points. We've seen teams winning the league with just 60 points. And sometimes, I mean, this recently we've seen the league, getting more interesting. We've seen that the separation between the big boys and the teams who actually didn't do good business when it comes to the transfer window. We've seen teams who actually spent money getting quality players, outplaying the other teams. Back in the day, you see teams even relegating with 40 points because everybody's winning their home game, and then it depends on how many points you were able to gather away from home. But looking at the season so far, we've seen a lot of teams go away from home, a lot of the big side mostly go away from home, getting this result, scoring lots of goals, and of course playing beautiful football. Do you think it boils down to just the clubs, waking up to say, okay, let's do it the right way, or do you think LMC has actually, contributed to making shape the league the way it is at the moment?
All the factors are contributing to the quality we are seeing now in the league. LMC mostly, I mean, have brought a lot of change in the league, because in the past we used to have this attitude of you must win your home match and you must lose away from home, and it really didn't help the league. I mean, where you have a home side being in charge of the referee, paying the officials for the match, and taking care of them even days before the match. I mean, what do you expect? You see officiating, very poor officiating in the league, where the penalties are being awarded with reckless abandon. And, you just try to do something to make sure that the home side gets the points, and that is what I've been cleaning the Nigerian Professional Football League. But recently, we've been seeing more improvements in management. Officiating is becoming better. The referees are going to games, knowing that the best side on the day should win the game, and not because you are playing at home or playing away. So these are the things that have contributed to what we are seeing now. We are now seeing the quality, the top teams being separated from the ones that you see that they are struggling down there the table. So teams like Rivers United, Plateau United, Remo Stars, Rangers have really won points away, and that's why they're in the top four of the league, so far. So we've seen them traveling away with a lot of confidence, playing their game on the day, and of course winning their games. So it does not matter where you play anymore. What matters is now how well you play and how well you deserve to win your game. So the improvement is welcomed, and we hope it continues that way.
Okay, Kesta will be moving straight to Europe to talk about the UEFA Champions League final between Liverpool versus Real Madrid right here in France, of course, the French capital. It was a 1-0 victory for Real Madrid. Liverpool seems to be the better team on the night. When the game started, created lots of chances. They had Madrid on their toes, chasing the game all through. Of course, Thibaut Courtois, pulling off those wonderful saves. But at the end of the day, it's not about how beautiful game you play. What matters is how many times you're able to put the ball at the back of the net. And Real Madrid did the job. I mean, looking at that fixture, of course, when we talked about that game, the whole Liverpool seems to be the team with most advantage, and the team on the better situated to win the competition. Of course, when you watch the game from the beginning to the end, it looked like it, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, they failed to do the business, and Madrid, being Real Madrid, did what they know how to do best.
Yeah, everything that happened in that game is what we talked about. Before the game, we spoke about the strengths of this size and where the game could be won. And if you watch what happened on that day, you find out that it was just as we said. I mean, Liverpool was always going to look like a better side on the pitch and with the play and everything. But we thought about making use of your chances. In this case, you can't fault Liverpool actually. Because you thought about Courtois in that game and how well he played. I mean, it's not often that you see a goalkeeper winning the man of the match in the final of UEFA Champions League. He was the man of the match on the day for a reason. I mean, he pulled off some save that he can never imagine he would have done. And he didn't just start that. He didn't just do that in the final. You remember his performance in the semi-final as well against Manchester City during those dying minutes, where he pulls off some save also off Grealish and other. He did very well to make sure Real Madrid progressed to this stage. But we talked about this, Harrison. Liverpool look like the better side. They look like the team to beat as far as the final is concerned. But we thought about Real Madrid and what they can do. They've always played every game throughout the knockout stage as the underdog. Their game against PSG, nobody gave them the chance, especially the way when they lost the first leg. People thought they were going down, but they came back and won that one. It happened against Chelsea and Manchester City. So they understood that position. They enjoyed that position of playing as underdog and then pulling off a surprise. So it was just a very beautiful Champions League final, as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately for Liverpool, but fortunately for Real Madrid. I mean, it was a very beautiful game to watch. Carlo Ancelotti once again have proven to be one of the best coaches in Europe and in the world, with 4th Champions League for his name, and then the 14th for Real Madrid. It shows how big a club the side is. But for Liverpool, it was not a bad season at the end of the day. But I think you can't have much to say about the season anymore, because believe it or not, performances are only remembered by achievements. If you don't achieve much, some performances might just take 5 years and you will not be talking about it again. At the end of the day, they only have the League Cups. The League Cup and the FA Cup to show for a very wonderful season they had, and it was unfortunate as far as I'm concerned. I think they deserve to win more, at least the league or the Champions League. But I mean, this is football. You don't just win it because you played better or that. You have to win it because you won. So it was a good match for me.
All right, Kesta, Vinicius Junior and Karim Benzema, combining this season. Vinicius winning the Young Player of the Tournament, as well as Karim Benzema winning the Player of the Tournament. 3 seasons ago, Karim Benzema was actually seen, telling the teammates not to pass the ball to Vinicius Junior, that he's playing against his team. And of course, this season we've seen these 2 players combining together. What do you think happened? What do you think changed for Vinicius?
Time changed. Vinicius, I think he's just 20 now, 21. Yeah, so in minus 3 years to that, how old he was then. So he was a very young player that was brought in from South America. He was never going to just come straight into the Real Madrid side. But we saw a Real Madrid that kind of changed the pattern of their business, started giving some young players a chance to play, stop signing big names and big players and all that. So Vinicius, I would say, just have grown into the game. And if you watch the way he played that season, you agree with Karim Benzema. He didn't know when to do what to do. And all that. He didn't know when to pass the ball. He didn't know when to try and dribble. He didn't know when to try to shoot and all that. But I think we have seen a Vinicius Junior that have improved, and the performance, the numbers this season will show you how good he has been. He deserves to be the best player. The best young player of the tournament. If there was no Benzema, he would have been the best player of the tournament as far as I'm concerned. He did very well. The combination with Benzema was top notch. They assisted each other, very well throughout the season. Scored goals, got some assists, and also scoring the goal in the final. To cap it up was a very wonderful performance for him. So it was just a matter of growing up, and I think he will get better going forward because he's coming of age and all that, and he only gets better from here.
All right. After the defeat, the news has already broke out that Sadio Mane will not be staying at Liverpool next season. Do you think Sadio Mane? There's a lot of rumors behind him not wanting to stay in Liverpool anymore. He doesn't feel appreciated. He feels he needs to move on to something new and a better challenge. Where do you see Sadio Mane ending up next season? And what were the things you think that actually prompted him to make up his mind? Was it the Champions League loss, or were there other things that attributed to him making that decision?
We've heard stories about Bayern Munich, and it's looking like that might be where he ended up. There have been news that his agents have been contacted from Germany and all that, and he's hoping that Liverpool will just. I think Liverpool will always want to allow him to go. He just have 1 year remaining in the contract, so and he's not going to be renewing. As he has come out to say. But, this is what it is. I think Mane knew before the final that he wasn't going to stay. He was asked this question when Salah confirmed he was staying back to Liverpool, and he said you have to wait after the Champions League final for him to say what he has decided. So this decision has been there that he's going to leave Liverpool this season. And, there are so many things that could have led to it. You mentioned about not being appreciated. Everybody knows that, Liverpool see Salah as their poster boy, as the person, the team, the person the team have been built around, the team leader and all that. Whereas Mane also believe he deserves to be in that category or be recognized as much as Salah is recognized by Liverpool, because he contributes as much as Salah gives to Liverpool. So there were issues about what is being offered to him in terms of salary, contract improvement and all that. He believes he should be whatever Salah is due to should also be given to him. So probably what he saw or what have been given to him is not up to what he believed he deserved, and this is where he can say he hasn't been much appreciated by the club, because I know the fans love him as much as they love Salah. They've always shown the support to him and all that, but probably he felt Salah is being treated better, and then for that he should go to somewhere else where he feels he will be appreciated more than what Liverpool is in. But when you look at Liverpool as a side, you also have to understand that it is, I mean, on the business angle of it, you can't have this kind of these kind of players in your team, giving them the kind of contract they're expecting at the same time. So I'm looking at it from that business angle, and Liverpool always like to have money, but might not be willing or don't have what it takes to give both of them the kind of contract they will like to have. I mean, in the new contract, so they might just feel like, okay, let's keep one of them. In this case, Salah. Of course, Mane can go ahead. It's not as if they like it, but they just have to accept it. And we've seen the way they have done business recently. They always know how to replace some big players and all that. I knew some players will come in to try and replace him, but Mane will always be difficult to replace because of the kind of player he is for Liverpool.
Okay, a few transfer news here and there. Christian Perisic have already signed for Tottenham. It's a 2 year contract. He joined as a free agent from Inter Milan, as well as Paul Pogba coming out today with Manchester United to announce that Paul Pogba is free to leave Manchester United, as well as Real Madrid and Gareth Bale. You read that farewell message he dropped to the Real Madrid fans. Of course, he achieved a whole lot. 9 years at Real Madrid, 5 Champions League titles, about 4 league titles. Of course, Gareth Bale won a whole lot with Real Madrid as well. Chelsea, the takeover has been completed. It's official now. I mean, Chelsea, there were rumors that if Chelsea failed to get that done before the end of the month, that Chelsea will be relegated into the League One. And of course, Chelsea will go into administration. But then, as we all have it, Chelsea are staying in the league with new owners. Of course, there's been news as well that Inter Milan are trying to see if they can get Romelu Lukaku back to the Italian. Of course, they are trying to see if they can have a discussion with his agent and Chelsea to see if a deal can be struck out to get Lukaku back to Italy. Kesta, still talking about the local league. Of course, Enugu Rangers has actually taken the lead now, putting themselves in a very good position as far as the third position is concerned. Heartland is still playing goalless draw. The game between Nasarawa United versus Abia Warrior, Nasarawa United have taken the lead. Shooting Stars versus Remo Stars is still 1-1. Of course, Rivers United versus Plateau United is still goalless draw. I mean, Kesta, the league is looking beautiful for real, and of course, looking at the defending champions, Aqua United. I mean, it's like about a month, 3 months ago, they were in the bottom half of the table, but they've been able to push themselves, back to the 7th position. And of course, we still have 7 games to go, and the point separating them with the people in the third place is just about 4 points. Do you see Aqua United, at least making it to the CAF spot, as well as Enyimba? It's been 10 years in the row. Enyimba doesn't go a season without making it to any CAF competition. Do you see any of these two guys pulling out any surprises so far?
There's always a surprise. Football is always full of surprises, but it's looking difficult for these teams. I mean, considering the form of the top 4 right now, we thought about Rangers already taking the lead against a Wiki Tourist, and Remo Stars also doing very well for themselves. So these guys are in the 3rd and 4th position. Not talking about Rivers United and Plateau that are occupying the first 2 positions. It's now looking difficult for teams to break into the top 4 because of the form of the people already occupying those positions. So it will take a lot from Enyimba and Aqua United, defending champions Aqua United, to leapfrog these teams. But there are still 7 games to play, as we said. Anything can still happen. within these 7 games. Well, they need to be consistent to make sure it happen. You can't be losing games and drawing, to overtake anybody. You have to win games as well, as you want that person to now drop points for you to overtake them. So it might not be easy, but it's still possible, quite possible for them. And then for the transfer that have been going on so far in Europe, I mean, Perisic, I think some of these transfer are the ones we can easily predict, before the season ended. I mean, he's a free agent. He has worked with Conte in Inter Milan. They won the league together, so it was an easy move for him. In Tottenham also offering Champions League football, so it was an easy decision for Perisic to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. 2-year deal, that one is. And then you talk about the players that will be leaving their team. Of course, we know Gareth Bale will always will leave this season after a wonderful season, even though he didn't play much, but he came into Real Madrid as a very young boy, won a lot of trophies for them, won Champions League, I think in his first season, and he's living with Champions League trophy as well. 5, Champions League titles he won in Real Madrid. He scored 2. I mean, these are club legends in their own rights, and we can only wish them the best going forward. Paul Pogba, we saw it coming that he might not be staying back into Manchester United. We don't know where these players will be ending up for now, but of course, there are so many clubs out there so many clubs right in Europe and even beyond Europe for them to go to, and we can't wait to see where they end up. But I think the transfer window is not even open yet, so there will be a lot of surprise. There will be a lot of things that will happen during the window. Chelsea now can buy players. Some part of the problem they have had in settling down and trying to, renew contracts of the players that are running down their contract because they don't have the ability due to the sanction and all that. But they are free now with the new owners, Todd Boehly and the consortium. They have everything now within their power, with some agreements reached before they purchase the club to make sure they spend some billions, and to make sure they spend some money in the club. I think they have everything it takes to make sure Chelsea continues to improve. So it's a beginning of beautiful things to come in European football. Not also forgetting World Cup qualification. Ukraine will play in Scotland. To see who progresses to try and make it to World Cup next holiday.
All right, Kesta, thank you so much. Of course, that game between Scotland versus Ukraine will be 7:45 Nigerian time. Of course, we'll be having the UEFA Nations League game as well between Poland versus Wales. And of course, the International Cup finals between Italy and Argentina, the winners of the Euros, and of course the winners of the Copa America. That game is also slated for 7:45 Nigerian time. Kesta, it's always a pleasure to talk sports with you. Every Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, the producer behind the cameras, Raf, thank you so much for keeping us in check and making sure that our fans, our viewers are all out there to watch us talk sports every Wednesday on Midweek Sports Review. I still remain your host, Harrison. Continue to keep a date with us. Next week, Wednesday, we will be here to talk about sports as usual. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.